Morning everybody, my name is Emma. It is day 38 of the Teen Yoga Foundation Zen Challenge and I'm leading you through your practice this morning. I hope you're all doing okay. I always like to start my class with a check-in, so even though I'm not there in person with you and you're not here with me, just pausing to ask that question, how do you feel before we begin? So I am checking in today feeling good. I have just actually done a practice with one of my teachers, which has really brought me back together again, left me feeling energized and ready for the day. So I'm really hoping that maybe this practice will do the same for you today. So without judging how you're doing, how are you doing? What's your last week been like? What does this week hold for you? And maybe more importantly, right now in this moment, how are you? We are going to have quite a strong practice today, so go at your own pace, and if you need to take a break then please do and just rejoin us at any point. If you have a pillow or a cushion, that would be really useful for today, so maybe go and grab that now, and I will meet you on the mat in a few moments time. Okay, now if it feels good, I'm going to invite you just to undo your legs, so they're just going to come down either side, maybe wiggle your hips from side to side. And then with your two hands, I want you just to find the very bottom of your ribs. Okay, so once you've located them, you're going to trace your hands up, so rib by rib, until your two fingers meet at the top of your rib cage. And that should also be where your breastbone or your sternum meets here. Then I'm just going to invite you to pop one hand, so I'm putting my left hand down, I'm putting my right hand on top of my left hand, and then I'm just going to relax my elbows all the way down. And we're just going to simply pause here, and we're going to arrive in our space. Maybe just put aside anything that you were doing before you've just come to practice, trying to put aside anything that you know your day has in store for you today. So we're going to concentrate on the here and now, and one of the ways to do that is just to focus on our breath. So I don't want you to change it, but start to notice your inhale and your exhale. Then I want to see if you can actually send your breath to where your hands are. So by doing that, your hands should gently rise up on the inhale, and then you should feel a release of your stomach and that area on the exhale. I'm just going to do that 2 more times. So inhaling, hands rise up, and exhale, your hands just float down. Inhaling, hands rise, and exhale, your hands lower. And as you just lie there now, I just want you to imagine a sparkly yellow colour. It's like a sparkly yellow gem. And I want you to imagine now that somebody, or even better you, are putting this sparkly yellow gem underneath your hands. And that is your little gem of confidence. So that belief that yes, you can, and that voice that we need to tap into sometimes as we go about our day-to-day activities. So with your gem safely underneath your hands, we're going to start today's practice, but just remember that that little gem has been placed within you. When you're ready, you're going to bring your knees up, so feet are on the ground. Just feel the ground underneath you. You might want to pop your palms down, and again, just feel that constant steadiness of the earth that's not moving. You're going to bring your knees up, bring your arms or your hands to your knees, and just make some small circles here. Your knees going around in a circle one way, noticing your back best connection to the ground, and then just circle your knees the other way. Maybe taking this opportunity to open your knees a bit wider, and you're going to carry on the idea of circling, noticing how does that change your body's movements, and then circling around the other way as well. Okay, perfect. From here, you're going to keep your legs where they are, and you're going to bring your hands up, so reach your hands up. I then want you to flex your feet. So my feet are naturally pointed here, so I'm just going to flex my feet, which means bring my toes towards my shin bones. I then also want you to imagine, or I want you to bring your fingers and flex them towards your upper arms. Okay, so it's a bit like now you are Spider-Man and you would be able to walk on the ceiling or the sky, whatever you're looking up at. From here then I want to invite a little bit more activation and start to feel our ability to activate our own body. So you're going to bring your arms forward slightly, and you're going to find, and maybe your knees back slightly, and you're going to find a connection between the outside of your arm and the inside of your knee or your upper thigh, depending on your body and your skeleton really. Still keeping your feet flexed and your hands flexed. You might feel this into your hips, this activation. Great. Now we're going to see if we can activate that even more. So we're going to press our legs in to our arms, but at the same time we're going to press our arms out to our legs, and we should really feel our legs kick in here, so particularly the inside of our thighs. From here we're going to see if we can raise our head up, so we're activating our stomach muscles here. And hold. Brilliant. And then we're going to see if we can point our toes. And then we're going to see if we can just raise even further up with our head. And we're going to hold that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just come out of it the same way. So flex your feet. And then bring your head down to relax. And then undo that connection between your hands and your arms and your inside legs. Maybe just now grab your feet, and it's going to be a happy baby. So where you're just going to swing from side to side. And then it's that idea of just feeling how your body wants to move. So my legs wanted to cross there. I can bring them out again, maybe bring them in to cross the other way. And just noticing that you can move however you want to, however feels good. There's no wrong, there's no right. Brilliant. So from here, you're going to bring your legs down. You're going to bring your palms to your side. And then I'm just going to invite you, imagine you've got a orange, maybe between your chin and your chest. And you've got to almost keep that orange between your chin and your chest. So I'm really imagining it's there. And then from there, maybe turn your palms in, as if you're going to press on your legs. And then I want you to just going to lead with your head. Your head's going to come up as if you're looking up over your knees, and just raise up here. You should feel your stomach activate. You're going to hold it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just allow yourself to peel back down again. And just relax, okay? So you might even want to bring your knees wide, your legs wide, and you drop your knees in on each other. Great. From there, bring your legs back to where they were. This time you're going to imagine you're putting your legs up on a chair. So you lift one leg up, and that should be almost to 90 degrees. You're going to bring your other leg up to 90 degrees. Okay, and then from here you're going to have your hands nice and solid, again a bit like you're holding a box or something, and then you're going to lift your upper body up. And can you hold that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now can you extend your legs out, and can you come up a little bit more? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From there, can you bend your legs, and can you come up and hold? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, abdominals. And then can you maybe lift up and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And from there, just grab your backs of your thighs and just rock forwards and backwards. Noticing how much strength you had inside your body to be able to do those different activations. You're going to come up and over. So you're going to come up and over, and you're going to find an all four position. So you want to imagine someone's pulling the top of your head one way and maybe pulling the tailbone the other way, nice flat back. And then what I want you to do, my toes are tucked, but maybe just untuck them and tap the energy out there. Great. So from here, just going to have a little rock forward, like you're peeping over the cliff. And think, how much time do you spend thinking about the future? Come back over. This is like the present, the here and now. And then rock back slightly. How much time do you think, or do you spend thinking about the past? And come back to your central point. Just something to think about in today's practice. We're kind of exploring our tipping point here. Okay, from here you're going to move your hands out to the side. So your hands are now facing outwards on your mat. I just want you to kind of almost waddle from side to side on your hands. And then maybe keep them down and just move your shoulders from side to side here. Bring your hands forward, and what if I was to say to you, there are no rules, you can close your eyes and you can move your body however you want. So let's see what you would do. Maybe don't look at me, close your eyes and just see how your body wants to move today. This links, if you did the practice last week, number 32, the idea of creating your own freedom and colouring outside the lines. Maybe then get into a rhythm with your ribs, so a barrel rolling your ribs round, so it's where you're pushing up into your hands, and then a bit like your ribs are a skipping rope going round and around, and then maybe go the other way. Just enjoy that moment of freedom. Great. From here, you're going to allow your hips to come all the way back to your heels. So I've just naturally opened my knees a little bit wider. My big toes are together. I'm sinking my hips back, and then I'm putting my forehead down onto the mat. My hands are stretching out in front of me. I'm just taking a moment to pause here. Now this is child's pose, and this is your position whenever you want to take a break, for whatever reason that might be. Okay, you're going to come up again to your all four position. Okay, so just make sure your knees are underneath your hips, make sure your shoulders are over your wrists, your hands should be like starfish. From here we're going to do some scapular press-ups. So basically I want you to imagine your arms stay straight. You're going to imagine there is a pencil or a pen between your two shoulder blades at the back, and you're trying to bring your shoulder blades together to pinch that pencil so that it won't move. You're then pushing into your hands and allowing your top of your back to round so that it's nice and open between your shoulder blades. And then bringing your shoulder blades back together to pinch that pencil. And then allowing your shoulder blades to come out and open again. We're going to do that one more time, so shoulder blades come together. And we just want to focus on this area because it's going to be important for today's practice. And then let them open by pushing into your hands. That's great. You're going to come back and sit on your knees now. So I'm just going to come face you. If it feels good, you can keep your toes tucked, but if not, just allow your toes to flatten, okay? So from here, you're going to lift your arms up. Fingers are spread really wide. Now that's kind of, we want that shape when we're doing our downward dog and a lot of our positions with our hands today. And I just want you then to make fists and let your fingers spring outwards. So it's kind of like, they're like twinkle twinkle little star maybe, whatever you want to think of it as. And we're just going to flash your hands open and you're just going to keep going. So you'll be aware of the effort that it takes to keep your arms up. You're really making fists and you're feeling the explosive strength of your fingers as well. So we can keep doing that. 5, keep going, 4, keep going, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you're going to bring your hands out in front of you. I'm going to come down now, untuck my toes. You can stay with your toes tucked if you want. We're going to bring at your elbows, you're going to bring your hands into 45 degrees. You then are looking for your little finger bends down, your ring finger bends down, your middle finger bends down, first finger, thumb. You've now made these fists with your wrists and hands. You're going to allow your wrists to drop down. So we're going to be taking some weight through our hands today. We just want to make sure they're all nice and warm. You're going to allow your fists to drift upwards, opening thumb, first finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, and then just flex your hands towards your forearm. And then just shake out. Really shake. We're going to do that one more time. Hands come into 45 degrees. Little finger, ring finger, middle finger, first finger, thumb. Wrists come all the way down. Perfect. Wrists float all the way up. Opening thumb, first finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. They flex towards you. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to come back to our all four position. If you took the toe stretch, maybe just tap your feet again. That's completely up to you. From here then, we're going to do some rounds of cat and cow. So we're going to do cow first. So my pelvis comes back, my back arches, and then I look all the way up. I've got really nice contact with my hands into my mat here. My pelvis then starts to round in, my head drops in, my tummy, so my belly button comes all the way towards my spine. I push into my hands. I get this feeling that my shoulder blades open up as my head drops down to look towards my stomach. And this is your cat, and that's going to be really important, this feeling now. So push into your hands and feel it for where we're going in today's practice. You're going to allow your pelvis to come back, come up to your cow, and then allow yourself to come all the way in. Tuck, 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 tuck through your hands. From here, I just want you to experiment. What does it feel like, without losing the shape in your body, to hover your left foot up and then bring your left knee all the way to your nose? And then bring your knee back and place it down. And then just check in with your cat. Have you got any more kind of roundness? Because you might want to come out of it to your cow. Just kind of check that. And then come into your cat again. Hold that tuck position. Hover your right knee this time. Bring your right knee into your nose. Hold, hold, hold. And then right knee comes down. And then you're back into that position. From here, we're going to do one last thing to check how strong you're feeling. So for a moment, I just want you to inhale. And on your exhale, I want you to try, at the same time as breathing out, to bring all your little muscles around your torso, so this area here, inwards. Okay, so you're going to breathe in. And on the exhale, try and bring everything in towards you to feel really nice and stable. So this time on the exhale, so your toes need to be tucked, you're going to hover your knees off the floor. So we inhale, and on the exhale, we just hover your knees off the floor. We want to feel really nice and strong here. Great. From there, imagine someone is taking hold of your hips behind, and you're just going to come up into your first downward facing dog. So we're going to check in with our downward facing dog. Our hands are like starfish. Our elbows almost want to come out and round. My head drops down. I'm looking between my knees. My heels are going towards my mat and towards the back of my mat. I might then bend my knees slightly and lift my hips up. And that feeling of lifting your hips up, again, is going to be important for today. Okay, from there you might just want to push one heel down, let the other heel come up. We call this walking our dog. I'm just going to do that a few times. Lovely. From here, push your heels down. I then want you to raise your toes all the way up. And I want you to tiptoe forward. So you're going to tiptoe forward what are you walking towards? So maybe what's your personal goal? Grabbing hold of your elbows, dropping your head down into a forward fold. Maybe shaking your head no for all the times, all the thoughts that say you can't do something, and instead replace it with a nodding head that says yes you can. Okay, from here, allow yourself to be heavy, hands drop down. You're just going to come up vertebrae by vertebrae, so slowly, slowly, all the way up. Okay, allowing yourself to come to what we call mountain pose. So mountain pose is where your hands are wide and you have a really nice feeling of the ground underneath you and drawing up the energy through the ground into your body, so we're nice and stable. Okay, we're going to do some sun salutations to continue warming up here. So you're going to inhale your arms up above your head. Okay, I then want you to imagine, I'm just going to come face you for a moment, so your hands are like this but they're above your head. I want you to imagine that you then, the top of your hands are that arrow. On the exhale, you're going to imagine you're going to push your hands down, so your palms to palm face the other way. And you're going to imagine anything that stops you, you're just pushing down and away. Okay. So you're going to inhale your arms up, all those things that say yes you can. Palms meet at the top. Feel where you want to go. And then push down with the exhale anything that says you can't. And we're building into this gem that we've placed kind of in our body here. Right, so back to the front of your mouth, your mat. Inhale your arms up. Exhale. This time you're going to fold forward at the hips. So my hips go back, my bottom goes back. I'm folding at that hip crease. I bend my knees slightly to activate my hamstrings and I allow myself to hang here. I inhale. Halfway lift, we call this a nice flat back. You can come up to your knees, come up to your shins, or you can keep your hands down, that's your choice. Your hands are going to drop down. You're going to step your left foot back this morning first. So you're stepping your left foot back, you're then dropping your left knee down and you're inhaling your arms all the way above your head. And really feel this part of you shining forwards. Okay, from here I want you to imagine that you're holding onto a bar, so your shoulders might rise up. From there, you've made fists at the top. I want you to bring those fists all the way in to the side of you. And bring your shoulder blades together, which means this part of you should be nice and forward. You're going to allow your hands to drift backwards, nice and soft, inhaling your arms all the way up. Grab hold of that something, I don't know what it is, you might not even know what it is, it doesn't matter. But whatever that is, you're bringing it into you just to give yourself maybe some extra superpowers. And drifting your hands back. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale your arms up, holding on, and then bringing that into you, drifting your hands back. Arms are going to come all the way up. You're going to frame your front foot, so one hand either side of your front foot, tuck your toes, come up onto your back leg here. Maybe just test, this is a nice runner's lunge here. And then you're going to step your front foot to meet your back foot. And we're in a nice, strong plank position here. Now, if that's too much for you, as always, you can drop your knees down. Depends on you, there's no wrong, there's no right. I'm going to come up to my full version of plank. Just going to check in here. So I don't really want to be all the way up in my shoulders, so them rounded. I want to have a bit of a flatter back here. And again, that depends a bit on you and your skeleton. So from here, I'm just going to think, can I rock forward and take a little look what the future might be like? Come back to that present moment and then rock back. That was really slight, but pushing my heels back even more. And then just finding that midway point. From here, my knees are going to drop down. I'm then going to lower down, chin and chest come in, my elbows are in, and come all the way down to my belly here. From here, my hands stay where they are. Actually, my hands need to come forward a bit, which means they probably weren't in quite the right position. My tops of my feet push down into the mat. My pelvis pushes into the mat, so I feel nice and strong in my lower body. And then I'm going to inhale my upper body up and maybe just pull my shoulders back. Maybe check in with your hands. If you're nice and strong, you should be able to lift them up. And allow yourself to come down. Okay, from here you're going to tuck your toes. You're coming through a bent knee position and then coming up to your downward facing dog here. Really nice. Check in with your downward facing dog, starfish hands. Heels going towards the back of the mat. Maybe bending your knees slightly. Lifting your hips up, those elbows rounding. Fantastic. And from here, you're going to lift your left foot up and high. And then from here, your left foot is going to come outside your left hand. So you can do a big step here, and your left foot is coming outside of your hand. And from here, you're going to have that same idea of just rocking into the future slightly, coming back to the here and now, and then pushing into that, trying to make your back heel go towards the mat before coming back to the middle. And then just have a bit of free movement, little play side and side, maybe round and round, no wrong, no right. Now from here, you're going to push into your hands and you're going to send that foot, so your left foot, you're going to send it nice and high. So you're going to send it nice and high. You're then going to step your left foot through and forward. So it's going to come as if it's going to knee to nose, but you're actually stepping your foot through. You're going to drop your back knee down, untuck your toes, inhale your arms all the way up. Exhale your hands down. You're going to step your back foot to meet your front foot. Forward fold here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, dropping yourself all the way down. Inhaling your arms up high and wide. Palms meet at the top, thinking about that arrow, and then palms come to your heart center. Maybe just pausing for a moment and thinking, where's your brain going to with this idea of pointing towards something that you want to achieve? Okay, going to go to the other side, inhaling your arms all the way up. Exhaling, hip bottom comes back, folding forward at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down, framing your feet. This time you're going to step your right foot back, so right foot's coming back into that kind of high runner's lunge. Dropping your back knee down, untucking your toes, inhaling your arms up high. Imagine you're grabbing onto that something and then you're pulling it all the way into yourself. Your elbows come back, chest comes forward, drift your hands back with a degree of softness. Hands float up, grabbing hold of that something, pulling it all the way into you and letting your hands drift back. Last time, hands float up on the inhale, grabbing hold of whatever that is, pulling it all the way into you. Elbows come into your sides, heart comes forward, hands drift back, floating your hands up. Your hands are going to frame your front foot, tuck your back foot. You're going to step your front foot back to meet in this high plank position. Check in with your plank, feel nice and strong. From here, you can drop your knees, your chin and your chest, or if you're feeling good and you're feeling strong, you're going to keep this position and you're just going to lower all the way down to your belly. Perfect. From here, engaging toes into the mat, pelvis into the mat, inhaling to baby cobra, tucking your toes, coming through bent knee position, coming up to your downward facing dog. Take a moment, connect with your breath. Check in with that gem that you put hidden on your hands at the start of class. From here, you're going to inhale your right foot up and high. Ooh, nice click from me there. You're going to bring that foot all the way through and forward, so you might want to round first and then bring it to the side of your hand. Okay, that same idea, you're going to allow yourself to come forward, have a peer over the front of your mat if you've got one, looking into the future. Come back to the idea of right now, here and now, and then allow your back heel to drift backwards. before finding that midway point. And then just inviting a bit of free movement, a bit of rocking into that front foot, a bit of dropping into the hips. How does that feel? Engaging your hands so they feel nice and strong, pushing the mat away from you. You should be able to even lift that, oh, wrong hand. You lift that toe off the ground, okay, because you're nice and strong. You're then going to send this foot back high. Great, and then you're going to step it forward in between your hands. Your back knee is going to go down, inhaling your arms all the way up. Exhaling, your hands are going to come down. You're stepping your back foot to meet your front foot. Okay, and just allow yourself to fold forward in this position. You're going to inhale, halfway lift, nice flat back. Exhale all the way down. Inhaling your arms up high and wide, making that arrow shape, and then bringing all of that kind of strength and power that you feel into your body into you. Okay, great. We're going to add on. So you're going to inhale your arms all the way up. From here, you're going to exhale, push your hips back, your bottom back, folding forward at the hips. You're going to inhale, halfway lift. You're going to exhale. This time your left foot is going to go back. Okay, so you're going to step your left foot back. We're staying in this high runner's lunge here. You want to switch your legs on, which basically means you turn them towards each other. So just feel that now, feel the difference, relaxed and switched on. And then you're going to drift your hands up. You're coming to a high crescent lunge here, okay? So just feeling that strength going forward. You're going to bring your arms in front of you. So your nice parallel hands in front of you. And then bring your palms just to meet. It's that idea of, again, what are you aiming for? Even feel your hands moving away from you to go there. Come back to the here and now. Okay, you're going to bring your left hand. So your left hand is drawing, a bit like it's drawing a bow and arrow. It's going to shooting for somewhere. And then you're going to open that back hand up. So you've got your left hand going backwards, your right arm going forwards, and they're trying to move away from each other. So you've got a bit of a twist here. You're going to bring your back hand to meet your front hand. It's that same idea. Robin Hood, that's a full, try and keep your balance, drawing a bow back, opening up, maybe gazing towards your back hand. Perfect. Bring your hands back together again. So from your palms being together, your palms are going to come apart. And from here, you're going to step forward, okay? So you're going to bring your left knee up to what we call stork position. Now, as I do that, just because I want to feel strong, I'm going to make fists, and I'm going to bring my fists back into my hips, okay? So I'm going to step forward, take the weight into my right foot, stepping forward, bringing my left knee up. Great. From here then, I'm just going to come and turn to face you so you can see. The weight is going to go through your right foot. Your left foot is coming across, and it's going to just bend your right foot so that you're sinking down here. So we're doing this, is called eagle legs, but you can keep it up if you want to. I'm placing it down for the moment. You're going to take your arms out and wide as if like you're flying, and you're going to cross your right arm over your left arm. So it's opposites. From here, your hands wrap around each other until you find your palms. Okay, and then just see, can you sink down a bit lower? From here, I want you to imagine, and I hope this hasn't happened to you, but imagine someone's punched you in the stomach, so that's the start of the movement, punches in the stomach, so you contract in, and then you're bringing your whole body down to what we call sleeping eagle. Okay, so you should feel like a bit of a rounding of the top of the back. Really nice. I'm going to just twist to the front of my mat. Okay. From here, you're going to open up, so come out of it the way you came in, so upper body comes up first. You're then going to undo your arms. You might want to put your hands on your hips or your hands out wide, whatever, there's no rules here. you're going to engage through your right foot and bring your left foot up to this stalk. From here, you're going to send this left foot all the way back. So we're going to look at this idea of balance. Your left foot goes back, and then if you can, put your hands forward, and we're now in our warrior 3 position. And just have a little play. What does it feel like if you come a bit further forward? Whoop. What does it feel like if you come a bit further back? It doesn't matter if you fall out here, you're just playing within your own body and your own balance. From here, you're going to put your back foot down, and your back foot is at 45 degrees. Inhale up. We're in a nice strong warrior 1 here. Engage your legs, so it's like someone's lifting your fingertips up, your legs straighten. Your back foot pivots, so my feet are now an L shape. And then I'm going to sink down here into a nice strong warrior 2 position. So arms are wide, looking over my front middle finger. Same idea here. What does it feel like to come further forward? Almost like playing with what's next. What does it feel like to move backwards? And I'm hoping you'll realise it feels better just to be right in the middle. Great. From here, your right foot is going to face forward. So now both your feet are facing forward. Your hands are going to come onto your hips. You're going to push your hips all the way back, and you're going to keep a flat back. You're going to come forward, forward, forward. Make sure you're nice and engaged here. So you almost want to feel like you're pulling your kneecaps up, which should activate your legs. Great. From here, you're going to release all the way down, then finding your hands hopefully on the mat. See what that feels like. You might want to toe heel your legs slightly wider. From here, your elbows, you want to, if they're out, you just want to rotate them in a bit. Drop your head down. And then just practice lifting your hips up a bit. So you feel stretch through the back of your legs here. Even feel like, proceed with caution here. What does it feel like to lift your heels off, taking a little bit more weight through your hands? And then just lower your heels down again. Just maybe have a play within that position. Okay, so what does it feel like to actually engage your hands and push? Lifting your feet off, your heels off, not your 2 feet. Okay, perfect. From there, you're going to come up to a halfway lift, so you've got a flat back. Your hands are going to come onto your hips, and you're going to slowly bring yourself all the way up. From here, you're going to twist your front foot so it's now forward, okay, and then you're going to come into warrior 2 on the other side. Okay, so just check in with your position. And then again, just play, what does it feel like to come forward a bit, hang out there, in the middle, backwards. Okay, great. So from here, we're going to come engage our legs, and we're just going to come and twist. So we're then in a high crescent lunge on the other side. So just what does that feel like in that position? Okay. From here, you're going to engage, and you're going to step forward into your stork pose. Okay, I'm not sure, I feel like I've forgotten something, but maybe I haven't. You're going to step forward into your stork pose. Oh, I have forgotten something. I've forgotten the arrow. Okay, so your hands are going to come forward. They're then going to draw together. You're then going to pull this left hand all the way back like you're pulling an arrow, like Robin Hood, and then opening up, looking over your back hand, bringing your back hand to meet your front hand. You're then going to, again, that idea of drawing an arrow. What are you shooting towards? Opening all the way up. Feel your 2 hands going in 2 different directions here. Feel nice and strong in your lower body. Hands are going to come together. Really connect with that idea of what you're aiming for. Hands come apart. And then that same idea, you're going to
pull yourself forward with lots of strength. I'm going to just bring my front foot back a little bit so I've got a shorter stance. You're going to come forward into your stork pose here. Now I'm going to stay side on to you while I talk you through this. You're going to bring your right foot around your supporting left leg. It's like you're crossing your knee over your leg. Okay, you can bring your hands on your hips if that feels good. Now I'm going to bring my toe down, but you can keep it lifted. It's totally up to you. Hands come nice and wide to the side. I'm then going to float my left arm on top of my right arm. My hands wrap around, my palms find each other. I might want to lift my elbows up here, and I can start to feel that round feeling in the back of my shoulders. Remembering then the movement gets initiated a little bit like someone's punching me in the stomach, so I draw myself in, and then I'm going to come all the way over this idea of sleeping eagle. Great, just pause there for a second, check in with your breath. You're going to come out of it the way that you came into it, so upper body's going to come up first. Undo the hands, undo the leg, possibly come to your stork pose here. Sending your right foot all the way back, flexed foot, maybe lifting and drifting your arms out in front of you to find your warrior three. You're going to step that foot back to find your warrior one, so your back foot is at 45 degrees, shining that power forward. You're going to engage your legs, and then you're going to open out to your warrior two. Okay, and in your warrior two, I just want you to see a bit like that idea of surfing. How much are you surfing everything that's happening in life right now? Great, hold it steady. From here, you're going to find your hands on your hips. You're then going to straighten your legs. You're going to turn your front foot in. So again, we're pointing both feet forward. Okay, from here, you might want to turn your toes out, and we're going to come down into a yogi squat. So possibly have your hands here. First of all, we're going to clear any self-doubt you might have for what we're doing next. So you're going to bring your arms up. So my hands have stayed like this, they're above my head. Exhale, just anything out of you. Inhale, all that strength, hands meet, and then just exhale. And I'm even breathing out of my mouth there. Inhaling your arms up. Your hands are going to drop to your heart center, so in front of your heart here, and you're just going to come down into this yogi squat. Now, that will look different for everybody depending on your flexibility, okay? From here then, we're going to grab a few things. So you can just come up, circle your hips if you need to. This is where if you have a pillow, you might want to grab it. I'm just going to pop that in front of me on my mat. And if you have a block, that might be something, or a thick book, that might be something you can use, but it's not essential. So we're going to have a play with a position called crow, and we've done a lot of body preparation for this idea of crow. Now, you might have played with this in gymnastics at school. You might have seen it in pictures. Everybody's will look completely different depending on you. It is a position that requires strength, but it's also a position that requires balance, okay, and also confidence to kind of go up and over that tipping point. So what's going to happen is you're going to think back to the very start of the class. I'm coming side on to you, but I'll try and talk you through it. If you know how to do this, then go ahead, but if not, stay with me and go with me. So you're going to bring your hands into that idea of starfish hands, really strong connection. Okay, so you're going to bring your hands down onto your mat. Now immediately, I felt the connection between my inner legs and my arms. Great. I just want you to gently push your legs in and gently push your arms out. Okay, from here, I want you then to push into your hands. So that's the idea a bit of being punched in the stomach again. Push into your hands, and the top of your back should round a bit like it does in cat. Okay, now really important at the moment, my glance is going behind me. I want to look in front of me, all right, because that's where I'm going to. I'm going a little bit into the future here. Okay, so maybe just have a little rock forward. How does that feel? And another little rock forward. Now it could be that's your crow today, where you're just rocking forward and playing with possibility. Okay, if you want to, you can come up and shake out if you need to at any point. So you're going to come to this idea of hands in front of you, pushing up. You then might lift one foot up. That might be what your crow looks like today. Okay, coming back. It might be you lift the other foot up, and that could be your crow today. Now your pillow is there to catch you, all right? So engaging with your hands, and if you feel like you want to, maybe playing with one foot, the other foot, and until you get that moment of flight where both feet are up in the air. And then just like keep feeding back to yourself, what do you think you need to do? So for me personally, I just need to go a bit further forward. I just have a bit of a mental block with it. Okay, so I'm just going to leave you to experiment for a little bit. Remembering, just don't judge. Wherever you are today, that's fine. And if you try again tomorrow, it could be tomorrow's completely different. And it's a very personal journey, and that's what it's about. It's not about the end position, okay, although it's nice. It's just about you playing with your own strength. So maybe have one last play. Okay. So my hands go down, I'm connecting upper arms to legs. I'm coming to that point of balance, one leg, two leg, and just allowing that flight moment. When you've had enough, you're simply going to come find a seated position. So just move your things out of the way. Bring one leg down, bring the other leg down, possibly just give them a little bit of a tap here. You're going to bring your feet up. This is the last little bit of activation. Hands are going to come forward, and you're just going to allow yourself to come down vertebrae by vertebrae with control, opening up into a brief shavasana. So you're just going to allow everything to collapse onto the mat. I want you to take your two hands, find the bottom of your ribs, trace your ribs up until your two fingers meet. One hand goes onto that area and the other hand goes on top. Elbows nice and relaxed. And maybe just close your eyes down. Maybe just recognize how your body feels in comparison to when we did this at the start. Can you hear your heartbeat or feel it beat underneath your hands? Has your breath changed? Can you gradually slow your breath down? Can you feel the rise and fall underneath your hands? Now underneath that rise and fall sits your potential. So you may not have come into full crow. And how does that feel? Does that mean you haven't achieved? Can you just accept that's where you are today? Okay, so dropping your hands either side of you, maybe bringing your knees up, giving yourself a really big hug for what you have achieved in your practice today, dropping your head down, finding your hands on your knees, and just finding those small circles one way and small circles the other way. If it feels good, keep your eyes closed or your eyes open, it doesn't matter. Dropping your knees wider, and again, circling your knees round one way, knees round the other way.
bringing your knees up to a resting position. You're going to open your arms up wide, either side of you. You might want to drop your toes down and just shuffle in one motion your hips to the right hand side. Bringing your knees up, just let your knees now fall to the left hand side and possibly looking over your right shoulder here. Finishing our practice with a nice relaxing twist. Maybe still being aware of that identified area in our body. Being aware of our body slowing down after we've made it work hard. Activating your legs to bring your legs back up to that central position. Maybe your toes drop down. You're going to bring your hips over now to the left hand side. Drift your feet up. You're going to allow your knees to drop now to the right hand side, looking over your left shoulder. It might be a click of your back. Mine just clicked. Activate your legs first, so bringing your legs up and in. Possibly reaching around your legs to give yourself another hug. We're going to take one last pose before we end with a bit of a relaxation. So you're going to bring your two legs out in front of you. From here, you're going to shimmy, so you're going to bring, you might just bring one foot up so you can lift your hips up. You're going to bring your two hands palm down underneath your bottom. Okay, so just feel the palms of your hands into the mat here. From here, you might want to bring your two elbows in underneath you. Now we're going to raise that identified area, so just underneath where our breastbone is, up into the air a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do a slight back bend here. You're going to bring the weight into your elbows, so bring the weight into your elbows, possibly step them in again. And then you can just stay here, so imagining still that kind of orange between your chin and your chest. But if it feels good, you can actually see what it feels like to drop your head back until your head rests on the mat. And we call this fish pose. For some people, it's not very nice. So if it's not very nice for you, don't fight it, just come out of it. And then stay here for one more breath. Feeling into that sparkly gem that we placed into that area at the start. You're going to come out of it the way you came in, so bring your head up with that orange. Two elbows come out, find your upper back on the floor, back of your head on the floor. Bring your hands out to the side. I lied, we're going to do one last position, so we're going to come all the way back to how we began. So you're going to bring your knees up, you're going to find the outside of your feet, and you're going to come into a happy baby. Okay, so you might just want to find stillness in your happy baby today. That's fine. Try and see if the top of your head to your tailbone, you can find some length in your spine. You might want to play a little bit here with your legs. Okay, so whatever feels good. It's no wrong or right. No one's looking at you, no one's judging you. It's just what feels good for you. Okay. And whenever feels good for you, you've got three options. You can just open out, so you're gently relaxing on your back. You can turn over, so you're relaxing on your front. Or you can come to a seated position for our final relaxation. So you choose, so either back Open up, either hands to your side or hands on your body where it feels good. You can even connect again to that space. If you've got a cushion, you can use your cushion to make you feel even more comfortable. Maybe pop it underneath your belly. If you're on your back, underneath your knees, totally up to you. Okay, and if you're, or wherever you are, if it feels good, just close your eyes down. So wherever you are, first of all, just notice the areas that are in contact with the ground. Think back to our practice, all those times where those roots have gone into the ground to help us feel balanced and safe to play. You're then going to bring your attention to that area just below your breastbone, and if it feels good, you might want to just pop your hands there. Or if you're lying on your belly, just bring awareness to that space. And the first thing I want you to do is I want you to imagine the smell of lemon. So maybe a lemon, if you ever cut a lemon, that nice fresh smell. If you don't like lemon, maybe try peppermint. So almost with your inhale and your exhale, try and smell that smell. I then want you to think about that bright, sparkling gem that we placed into that area. Kind of a pale, shiny yellow colour. Think, how big was the gem that you put inside yourself? But see it shining there now. And with each in-breath, I want you to imagine that gem is getting charged and it's getting bigger, rippling circles, bigger and bigger within you. So that first of all, your whole tummy area becomes this shining yellow light. Gradually filling your chest area, your hips, your arms, all the way down into your hands and your fingers, even shining out of your fingers, into your upper legs, your lower legs, your feet and your toes, rising up like sunbeams coming out from your face, shining out of your head. And so just resting in the shape that's you, you are a glowing yellow light, a bit like the sun, shining in the sky. And as you just relax in the shape that's you, just thinking about your potential, all the possibilities that still exist, even though they might have been paused for now. That gem will just be gathering strength. Gradually bringing your attention back from wherever it may have wandered to. Inviting some movement into your fingers, into your toes. If you're lying down, maybe taking a full body stretch before rolling onto one side and making your way to a comfortable seated position. You're going to bring your hands in front of your heart, palms meeting, and feel your own strength from left to right, palm into palm. You're going to inhale your arms up, palms meet above your head, really keeping that belief in yourself even in these tricky times. You're going to bring your hands to your forehead. I wish you so much peace throughout your week. You're going to bring your hands to your heart to be kind to yourself and others, and to the ground in gratitude. Namaste everybody, thank you so much for practicing with me this morning as always. I'm just going to creep forward so you can hear me a bit better. So we always have a well-being tip and we have a challenge. So my well-being tip for you today is just to have awareness of where your mind is. So that means to really, sometimes if everything's get overwhelmed, just think about, is it the now that's overwhelming me? Is it because I'm thinking about the past? Or is it because I'm worrying about the future? And at the moment, we can really only deal with the now. So it's just a little check-in that I invite you to do every so often. You just go, is this now? Or is this something that I'm worrying that could happen or has happened? All right, so that's my little well-being tip for you. My challenge is, it is a Random Act of Kindness week. So I would like you to connect with somebody, possibly writing down all the things that you miss about somebody or something, and then send it to them to make them feel really valued, okay? And then my added challenge to you is notice how many of the things that you've written down about them you can also see in yourself. Have a really good week everybody, and I look forward to practicing again with you soon.